Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Monday. It's June the 9th. This will be our chart lesson today. And the opening this morning was fairly, I guess the word I'm trying to come up with here is kind of the usual suspect. We tested an important low, which you can see from Friday afternoon all the way across here. That 1946 was holding us support, and you had that little trap and it went higher, and we just tested that level again, had a little trap and it went higher. Couldn't take it any higher, and we've been selling off all afternoon, and we come back down, we test that area again, and once again we get that little trap, and we're working higher. So will this lead to new highs? We'll have to see, but that's kind of been the MO lately, is that they trap everybody at the lows at important levels that have turned prices previously, and then we go higher. And even this right here was kind of the same thing. They trapped everybody to the low side and then reversed it on up. And at that point, you're looking for a couple of different things. One, a measured leg from, let's get this just right, measured leg from there. And you say we want a couple of ticks higher, or the measured leg from here, which we went a little bit higher than that as well. So using either one of those as target got you out safely at the very, almost the highs within a point or so of the high. And the other option would be just to exit when we got to the high of this side of the channel. And I had this is the way I originally had it around 9:30 this morning. I wasn't 100% sure if this was the top of the channel or if this was going to be a midline. As you can see, it turned out to be the top of the channel, so we'll just delete that one and we'll make this one solid. But that's how I usually do it. I'll figure it both ways, and then that way if we continue higher, I know where the next target will be. And so I had multiple targets here, and you just start with your first one. And once you reach that one and you're going through, then you're looking for your next target, and so forth until you either get to the target and it reverses, or if prices finally don't go any further and they reverse and go the other way, which happened right here. And we have this channel working down. And again, it looked like a regular channel, and then turns out it has two tiers, two equal tiers. And that's the thing. Once it goes through, just find an equal distance between these two and put another line, and that's where you're probably going to see it bounce. And that's exactly what happened. So hope that makes sense. But look at these repeat patterns. This pattern starts right here today. Then you see it again right here. And then you see it yet again right here. So that's 3 times a day we saw that basically the same pattern. You get a double bottom with a little 1 tick trap, and prices reverse. So if I'd have still been trading, I'd have wanted to take that long right there as well. So we'll go ahead and mark it just in case there's some of you that were still trading. But let's talk about the trades, and we'll go from there. But the first trade I saw was right here, and this is a second entry long in a couple of different ways. I didn't like, let me show you this. The second entry long really triggered when this broke higher, but I didn't like going long right there. You don't want to go short right here, but you don't really want to go long until it got that 1 tick lower and then turned up, and it gives you a chance to get long right there. Aggressive traders going to take that, and that really became a little trap right there. And that's kind of been the MO. As I said, it doesn't look very pretty. It's not the ideal setup, but if you're paying attention to what's been going on, you know what's likely to happen right there. And then you get a second entry long right here, which is the better, safer trade. Wait for it to tick lower, and then when it turns up, just go long out of there. And you figure you're probably, and this looks like a trading range, and usually you'll find this congestion down here for a reason. That's because it's trying to go lower and it just can't, and the bars just kind of start stacking up. That's usually an indication of either strong support, or you get up here, strong resistance. Sometimes it will reverse prices, sometimes it won't. But lately, anything to the low side is just about reverse prices, and you just can't argue with it. I'd be less likely to go long up here without a good setup than I would be to go long down here with a good setup. So, but your first entry is right there. The safer entry is to wait on that second one. It went lower first, and just have your stop waiting there in case it goes right on through. And guess what? It goes right on through. Easy scalp. It backs up, and it turns up again. And guess what? Even though this is real close to that high, notice what this is. You got this trap. You got a first entry short. You got a second entry short. It fails. I like that to go long. You know that those things rarely, if ever, fail. And easy scalp. You had to maybe ride this back a little bit depending on where you got in here, but it works on through, and then you get that pullback again, and you just get this repeat pattern all over again. You got all those matching lows. It breaks one tick lower, turns up. I didn't like this one as much because this one's at the highs, and it's a little more risky going long there, but there's a chance there's a trend line right there. It's bouncing right off of it. If you do go long here, you probably want to use a limit order. And you see it even came back and filled you. But once it goes this high and comes back, I don't know if I'd been willing to hang on to that one if I hadn't scalped out already. So, but then you get your second entry long right there, right off the trend line. And now you've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is like the sixth bounce off that trend line. It's a second entry long. There's enough room to get out before you get here. Just take that trade, quick, easy scalp, and then you get the same repeat pattern as this right here. You got this new low on the trap. First entry short, second entry short. It reversed. That was my favorite trade. Turned out to be one of the best trades of the day, and it just rockets on up. And it overshoots again. I really thought we may go on higher, but it turns down, and that's really, really bearish right there. Just draw your trend line, and then it turns down off of it. I don't think you can go short right there. I think that's too risky. But notice this, what happens here. Notice this. You couldn't make a previous low that was hardly lower than the one previously. Then suddenly you shoot straight down and get no resistance at all off that EMA. No support, or support at all off that EMA, I should have said. No support right here. It bounces just a little off the trend line and turns down. And then it tries to go higher again and just gets rejected again. I would have liked this trade better if it would have broke higher and you would have had that failed second entry long, but it didn't. It just kind of looked like congestion. But still, aggressive trader probably recognizes that that's good enough for a retest there. It's like a failed second entry. It looks close enough. It's going to probably act like it. And it does. It shoots on down. But it is a little more aggressive because you don't necessarily get the break higher that gives you the sure trap. And then I don't think you can go short right here on this one. Even though it's fairly bearish looking, it didn't break lower than these lows. You got the resistance or the support right there. Okay, I had a slight interruption there, so I think we were talking about this trade. But anyway, you get the failed second entry short, or no, we were way over here. Okay, I don't think you could go short right into that former resistance, which is kind of acting as support there. But when it breaks lower and turns back up, and turns right down off that line and gives you that big bearish bar, that's a good sign. And it's a breakout pullback short, and it shows that that trend line is valid and still holding. And so you don't know that it's going to take off like that. That was really surprising. But I think what happened was they trapped a lot of people long here that aren't paying attention, that aren't following the trend lines, that don't understand the rules. And when they got trapped long, it was like a rocket down. So this turned out to be probably the best trade of the day, other than this long right here. This one rocketed down in just a couple of bars in just a few minutes. So, and then you get the same repeat pattern over here, that little double bottom with a trap. It goes out the bottom first and then breaks out the top. Just have your stop waiting right there, knowing that you're probably at least coming back to the highs and probably even the EMA, and we went right on through there. So just like this looked. Again, let me show you this reversal pattern. Notice how all the way up you've got consistent higher lows here and pretty much higher highs as well. And then suddenly you get a big turnaround up here. You get the overshoot first, and it rockets straight down. It doesn't even bounce off the EMA at all. It goes straight on through, and it goes right through that like it's not even there. So now you got a lower low all of a sudden. Then you make a lower high, a lower low, and this is basically another lower high. you're trending down now. So that's your clue that this, and everything's below the EMA now. So that's a good clue that we're probably going to come down here and test this area again. And then guess what? They trap everybody to the long side, and it comes all the way back down to the lows of the day, of the overnight. And you get that same repeat pattern, a little double bottom and a little one tick trap. I love those setups. And a lot of times I'll make them green, but in this case, when you've already seen it 3 times today, just go with it. So there's no sense in arguing with it at all. And you may get a second entry long here, but again, you're getting a little bit close right here. I don't know if there's enough room to scalp out. So it's really so late. Well, it's only a little after 2 o'clock, so we may continue higher. For now, I would definitely have my trend line going right here, and we still don't have a close outside of it. So see what happens here. But that's what I saw today. Not a lot of trades. It was fairly obvious what we were doing early on. This was a little bit of a surprise, but just go with what you see. Don't argue with what the prices are showing you. And some pretty good trading today. Even if you didn't get this last couple of trades, there were some pretty good moves right here. You had to kind of ride them out a little bit. Really, I take that back. You really didn't even have to ride much out today, because they even though they didn't go very far, they were at least good for scalps. This was the only one that really took off, and you had a good move, other than this one on the way down. So, but anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. It's not much else to talk about, but just don't. The one thing I will say, and I've tried to say this every day, is as much as I would have liked to have shorted this right here, there's no way I'm shorting that until we get this confirmed trend line. And really, the first confirmation, a confirmed trend line means you get your first 2 swings and then you get another bounce off of it. So this actually confirmed it, even though we didn't break higher. Would have liked it better. And you can see that it just keeps holding all the way down. And obviously, most people should understand why you can't go short right down here, because it's trapped everybody every time we've done this over the last couple of weeks, and now we're trying to go higher again. So just understand that you got to be really careful trying to short this market right now, because it's dangerous. There's lots of short traps, and everything continues to go higher. And every day we're making another new all-time high in this market. We're already to the 1950s. Seems like I don't know when we went through 1900. It wasn't very long ago, but we're already halfway to 2000. And, so somebody's still buying this market. Just like I said on Friday, for this thing to close on its very high on a Friday, that's telling you something. Somebody still thinks the market's going higher. And you can see, you come in Monday morning and we're 5 or 6 points higher than where it closed on Friday. And the day's not over yet. We could surpass that before it's over. So we could turn down and make another leg down just like this one at the same time. So follow the price action, follow the rules, and don't get surprised. That's the main thing I guess I'm trying to get across there. So, but I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.